Good evening, everybody. This is Shubhradip Nandi. We welcome you to the basic concepts of economics. I think everybody of you are in a safe and happy condition. Use sanitizers in this pandemic situation. And by the way, Happy New Year to you. In this class, we will try to understand the basic concepts of economics. You have already studied in class 9 and 10 about the various subjects of social science. You had history, you had political science, you had geography, you had economics also. History deals with the past events, the events that have taken place in the past. Maybe it is an account of the kings and queens, the battles that they have fought, who won, who were defeated, and all those. How many people were killed, in which type of battles. You learn all these from history. So history tells about your past. Geography tells you about the physical features of the country. How many mountains are there, how many rivers are there, which type of communications you have, which type of minerals you have in your country. All these are discussed in geography. In political science, you discuss about the administrative situation or the administrative conditions in your country. Who is the Prime Minister? Who is the President? How the Lok Sabha works? How the Rajya Sabha works? And all things related to administrations. And now comes economics, the most important of all these four. And actually, economics is the guiding force behind all these three other subjects. You may wonder why. Because economics deals with a very vital component of life, that is money. Without money, you cannot do anything. Take an example. You have a date today with your girlfriend. You require expensive shirts, your expensive attire, and also some thick amount of money, big amount of money for taking her to a nice dating place. If you do not have money, nobody is going to accept you. Money gives us all the requirements in our life. Starting from the basic requirements of roti, kapra or makan, money gives you all other things that you are requiring. Education, medical service, transport, and whatnot. So without money, no country's administration will be there. If money was not there, there would not have been any requirement of any administration. People would have took fruits from trees, water from rivers, and they would have led their life. Only because of the circulation of money, the proper circulation of money, all these other factors in your country is happening. With money, you can go visit places where historical events have occurred. With money, you can visit places where you find various types of geographical wonders in your country. For example, if you are in USA, you need money to visit the Grand Canyon. Similarly, if you have money, in terms of political science, you can even win elections. In many cases, we see the use of money in winning elections, even if ours and all other countries may call themselves democratic. So money is very much important. Money is the guiding force of economics. Without money, you cannot have economics and you cannot have life. So the question may arise in your mind that from where did money come? What is the beginning of money? The beginning of money is very interesting. In the previous days, we did not have money. Then how did the transactions take place? The transactions used to take place with the help of barter system. I repeat, barter system, not butter. B-U-T-T-E-R, butter. No. Butter is a commodity which you have to buy with the help of money again. But barter system, B-A-R-T-E-R, barter, which means the system of exchange. For example, if you have 5 kilograms of rice and you require two pairs of shoes, you have to exchange this 5 pairs of rice with 2 pairs of shoes. Now, this barter system had some difficulties, because of which the barter system did not go for long, did not continue for long. What were those? Number one, the most important, is the mutual requirement of wants, which is also known as the double coincidence of wants. That means when you are in requirement of shoes, the seller of shoes should also be in requirement of your rice. If he does not require your rice, he will not give you his shoes. So you have to find a person who is in requirement of your product, and you have to be in requirement of his or her product. Then only the transaction will take place. So because of this difficulty, primarily the barter system did not go on for long. Another problem was there. This problem is known as the problem of indivisibility. What was the problem of indivisibility? For example, you want to buy a cow in exchange of the same amount of rice. For example, you have 5 kilograms of rice and in exchange of that you want to buy a cow. Now, the seller of the cow is in requirement of only 2.5 kilograms of rice. So what will happen? Is it possible for you to divide the cow into 2 equal halves and give him 2.5 kilograms of rice? Then will it be a cow or will it be beef? Will the cow be alive? Naturally, no. It will not be alive. So you want a living cow. You do not want beef. So you have to find out one person who is ready to buy your 5 kilograms of rice with his cow. So in this case, the indivisibility will become another problem. In order to come out of these two problems, the system of money came in. The kings and the queens in the previous days, they started circulating different coins, gold coins, silver coins, copper coins, and with the passage of time, we have developed the various systems of money, paper currencies and coins, and at the end, we have the plastic money. New word for you, plastic money. You have your debit cards in your pocket. You have your credit cards in your pocket. Do you have an account in the Google Pay? Do you have an account in the JioPay? These are nothing but plastic money. With the help of this plastic money, you can immediately do online transactions also. So this is the present system of money. We will get into the details of money later. Now, with money, what else can you do? You can buy things. You can buy services. Yes, you can buy services with the help of money. Which type of services? When you pay your electricity bills, you are paying it for the electricity service that you are getting. When you pay for your LPG cylinder at your kitchen, then you are paying money for your LPG cylinder service. The service provider is taking the money from you. The internet connection that you are using in your phone or the SIM cards, which helps you to get the connection, then also you are paying money for the service. Do you understand? If you understand or do not understand, please feel free to comment. Now, when you are getting your money, when you have money and when you are buying your goods and services, why are you buying these goods and services? For which purpose? Why you are buying a new mobile phone? Why are you looking for a new girlfriend? Why do you want a new bike when you have passed your class 10 examination from your father? Simple reason, it gives you satisfaction. Simple reason, it gives you satisfaction. This satisfaction in the language of economics is also known as utility. Those goods which do not have any utility, we do not buy them. We do not buy them, or we do not use them. Either mentally or physically, some way or the other, the good or the commodity or the service has to provide us with utility or satisfaction. So you are buying this satisfaction or utility with the help of money. When you are doing it, this utility supported with money is known as demand. Getting confused? Nothing to get confused, please. It is said in economics that demand and supply are so important concepts that if you teach a parrot the two words demand and supply, the parrot can become an economist. Yes, demand and supply are so important concepts in economics. So we will try to understand all these concepts in the future videos. Now we should also consider, or you may also be thinking that why should we study economics, or why is the study of economics so important? It deals with money, it controls the whole the administrative system of our country. It's okay, good. But do we have a career in economics? Why should we study economics? In the school, in the colleges, why should we study? Yes, economics as a subject has an independent career. Let me tell you, economics as an independent subject has its own career. Of course, when you are studying MBA, of course, when you are studying BBA or any other higher study, economics is an integral part of the syllabus. Everywhere you have to do 3 subjects: economics, statistics and mathematics. These 3 subjects are most important in most of the courses, most of the professional courses wherever you go. Other than this, in government of India, there is a separate examination or a separate bureaucracy which is known as the Indian Economic Service, where specialists in economics, master's degree in economics are taken as employees, and you can work as a bureaucrat in the same level as the Indian Administrative Service, the IAS officers, the IPS officers. Indian Economic Service is at the same level. So, Indian economics, from the government point of view, economics is very important. You can be a member of the Planning Commission, you can be a member of the Statistical Institute, you can be a part of various census taken in the country. So, economics has very broad scope in the field of government jobs. In private jobs also, economics has its own value. Other than being an integral part in the courses of MBA, MBM and CFA, CA, everywhere, economics is important. Other than that, there is a separate branch of economics which is known as the analytics, data science and analytics, which gives you very important career in economics. If you are from the background of economics, you can study data analysis, use the economic and statistical tools and analyze huge volumes of data. Huge volumes of data can be analyzed with the help of these economic tools and statistical tools. And this data analysis at present is one of the most important career options for economic students. Many students from various streams, they have taken up data science as their career. Many engineers, many mathematicians, many statisticians, they have also taken up data science as their career, and they are using these economic tools in their day-to-day lives. So, economics as a subject has vast career opportunities. So, if you are interested in economics in your future days, in your future lives, it will be very much beneficial for you. So this was basically the scope of economics in the career front, and we have also discussed some basic concepts that what you are to learn in economics. So this was all for today. We will continue with the basic concepts of economics. We will take up the concept of money. We will take up the concept of utility. We will take up the concept of demand, supply, production, everything. We will very slowly, step by step, we will develop these concepts. And again, I say, if you have any problems, please feel free to comment. I will try to answer all the comments. And supply me with ideas, supply me with your problems so that I can try to solve it with the help of the concepts of economics. For better improvement of your knowledge, please subscribe to our channel Nandi's POV and support me to provide you with better ideas and better videos. If you are liking our project, please put a like and press the bell button so that you are notified in future with our videos. Thank you. Have a nice day.